Welcome to the Collectables Matrix. My name is Toby, and today I want to have a look at some science fiction and fantasy cover art. Now, I collect sci-fi and fantasy books. One of the things that draws me to them is the great cover art. It is just amazing. And for that reason alone, sometimes I will buy a book. So why not celebrate this? So today I'm going to look at 5 books I picked up recently, discuss the art and the artist, give them a bit of airtime, and, well, share my love of this subject with you. So the first book we have, as you can see here, is called War Games. It's by Brian Stableford, and incidentally none of these books I've read as yet, but I'm going to read some of them. And you can see it's a double spread. Now, Ian Miller is the artist, and he was born in 1946. He studied art, so he's a professional artist, and I first came in contact with his work through Fighting Fantasy. He did the covers for The Citadel of Chaos, The House of Hell, and The Creature of Havoc. And of course, his involvement with Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone obviously led to Games Workshop. They founded that company. And he then got involved with things like the Warhammer roleplay, which I really enjoyed playing when I was in my teens. And he did things like Death on the Reich, which is very atmospheric and moody. And in fact, his style almost set the atmosphere for Warhammer Fantasy roleplay, which was great. And he also did the Siege cover, I think, which I seem to remember, which was awesome for Warhammer Fantasy Battle. It's a particular style that is like nothing else, really. And it was wide. It had a wide appeal. He did the White Dwarf magazines as well, and he did some magic cards. And he sort of described this as a tight pen style. And if we look at this image, you can see he crams in so much detail. He uses high contrast, so you've got these deep areas, but then you've got these highlighted details like these cables and wires and the cogs. And he often blended in different genres. So we've got things like steampunk, we've got sci-fi, we've got fantasy, we've got horror, all kind of thrown into one place at the same time. You've got these twisted bodies, you've got these blades here, and a kind of morphed machine gun at the front, and action. They're falling, they're moving, they're creepy, very powerful stuff. On the back cover, we have this explosion where this other soldier's been hit. He's blown apart. He uses this white to highlight this as this creature falls backwards. And there's 2 in the background, so we've got like a battlefield here. He's thinking about the whole image, the location as well as the characters, with these barbed wire poles. And it's against this harsh background of this heavy rain, this slate colour that's very powerful and immersive and dark. Really quite often dark, his work, and I do love the pen style. That's Ian Miller. That's the first book. Second book is by John Norman, Assassin of Gore. Slightly controversial books. We won't get into that. We're going to look at the cover. This is by Chris Achilleos, who also did quite a few things for Warhammer, for Fighting Fantasy, I should say. And he did the covers for the Temple of Terror, the Trolltooth Wars. He also did work on the Titan book, which is sort of similar to this, actually. And you can see here that he has this very clear style. It's not, the edges aren't fuzzy. It's as if he's drawn out the image and then painted it in. He probably has done that, and it creates these very clear, strong, bold lines. So he's got sectioned off areas of colour that don't really blend together. Very bold, very colourful as well. He's throwing like some reds and some yellows just to really lift it. And there's a whole bunch of action going on here. This bird has flown in, and there's a big impact in the centre. People are tumbling off the building, and there's bows and arrows and all sorts of things going on all over the place. Very complex, and there's even a rope attached to the eagle here, you can see. So there's a narrative going on. This is a scene out of the story, I should imagine. Now, he also worked on Heavy Metal magazine. So his style is a bit heavy metal, and he did covers for bands like White Snakes, and he did the Raven cover which had a lady in armour with her breast showing, and it was quite a powerful image that then Kate Bush used to inspire the design for Babushka in her video of the same song. So there's this cross-cultural references here. Really striking, strong work by Chris Achilleos. The next one we have is Gerald Brom. He did a lot of the design for the Dark Sun setting, a Dungeons and Dragons setting, and his style was very much punctuated by his mastery of flesh tone and the anatomy. He had it really down, and all of his figures are very, very toned and beautiful, or scary. This guy here, look at it, he's ripped, and they're very dramatic poses, very striking. The contrasts are very high. He has a lot of natural talent. He still works. You can go to his website and have a look at what he's doing at the moment. It's amazing. I was on there the other day. Very, very powerful stuff. Real understanding of the female form. And of course, this is a dark world. This is a hard, dry, hot planet. These people are dressed like this for a reason. It's a burning world. Now, Brom, from a young age, was spotted for his talents, and he worked for Coca-Cola, IBM, CNN, Columbia Pictures. He was conceptual artist on Galaxy Quest, Ghosts of Mars, Scooby-Doo, and Van Helsing. He really had a way of designing visual stuff. He has, and it's telling. The work is striking and inspiring, and I just love what Brom does. I just could look at his work all day long. The third book is a bit of a strange one, really. This is not one you'll necessarily know. This is an artist called Paul Damon, and his work appears on Michael Moorcock covers between 1986 to 1993, that sort of period anyways. And that's the only information I can find online about him. It feels really strange that anybody should be able to produce so many beautiful covers for books like this by Michael Moorcock and not have any sort of biography online or any information. I wonder whether there's a pseudonym for another artist. Who knows? But this drew me, this image, when I saw it, I thought absolutely mind-blowing. You've got the city down here, this huge Leviathan at the top here. I love the colour. It's just gone with one colour. I think my love of tanks has probably drawn my attention as well, because there's got these massive tracks and these cogs and the detail in the shadow and all the little points of interesting activity that are going on inside here. It's well framed, it's majestic, it shows someone with a lot of talent, someone who's a trained artist. Paul Damon. Who is this guy? If you know who Paul Damon is, then please let me know. It's Damon. I'm all about this artist because I just think that his work is fascinating. And our final one is on this book here. This is a Philip Josey Farmer book. I don't know whether I've said that right. I apologise if I haven't. It's a Dark is the Sun is the name of the book, and we have this kind of psychedelic image down here. This again was another one of these books that drew my eye. We have a whole series of characters, obviously from this book, because you wouldn't make these up on the spot, would you? So you've got this big old bee down the bottom right hand corner here, surrounded by what could be some kind of caterpillar type creature, and then this huge pink fox here, red fox or wolf. It seems massive, and his eyes piercing, and then behind him you've got the two protagonists, probably two characters. They seem maybe medieval or modern. Is that a gun? He's got a sword there. It's a mix of genres. She's got a leopard behind her, and they're looking at something, because this creature, which is the highlight for this book if you ask me, he's standing at the back pointing his big pink hand in some direction they're looking in. And he's got this green scaly skin with this rather strange minimal face at the top here. This kind of gigantic figure at the back. It's a band of characters from the story, and it kind of makes me want to read this book and find out what the hell is going on. It's absolutely psychedelic. There's pink strip going across here. Wonder whether the pink is coming through from this big creature down the bottom here. Now this is marked as unknown. We don't know who did this. I can't find it online. I've searched everywhere. If you recognise the style, please let me know. It would be interesting to see if you do know. And maybe you know him from the fact that Philip Josey Farmer is the author. But this had a different cover originally. I think this is a second edition cover. So it is. I just love this. I love this cover. Right, so that is 5 books that I've picked up recently. I think my favourite has to be the Ian Miller cover. This one I think is just absolutely mind-blowing. But the others are just fabulous as well. And, well, I hope you found this interesting. If you did, click the thumbs up. I'm going to do some more of these. It feeds into my interest in this subject. Being an artist myself and also loving this genre, it really is everything fantastic to me. So I'm really pleased with this. If you've got any questions or want to add any comments, please do down below. I'd like to open up a dialogue on this subject. And if you're not subbed already, it'd be awesome if you could, because we're just a small channel and we're looking to grow. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll bring you some more content very soon.